folks, this is Pastor Mike Hoggard coming to you from Studio 2012 with another Watchman video broadcast. I have a verse in mind. It goes sort of like this. He that soweth to the wind shall reap the whirlwind. We've used this expression, he that sows to the wind shall reap the whirlwind. Or we talk about in our country jargon, our country vernacular, you reap what you sow. And that is, not only is that just true between people, that's true according to the Scriptures. You will always reap what it is that you sow. And I was thinking about that verse, he that soweth to the wind shall reap the whirlwind. And I believe the Bible, I believe what it says, because I can see the reaping taking effect. There's always, wherever there's a cause, there is always an effect. We have that principle, cause and effect, sowing and reaping. And so I want you to think about that. And I was thinking about this in Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. Here's what the Bible says concerning the false prophet who comes in the last days. The Bible says, and I've had this misconception all my life about, people getting the mark of the beast and they're going to hold us at gunpoint and this is why we should have more guns and things like that, and they're going to drag us all kicking and screaming and tattoo our hand or forehead and I've got the mark of the beast and I didn't want it. I kind of thought that's how it was going to be, but I'm just looking at the Scriptures and I'm looking around at what's going on in the world today, and I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say, mark of the beast? Sure. Yeah, put that right there. Put that inside my hand there. I think that's when it's going to happen. Revelation 13, verse 16, the Bible says, and he causeth all, both, we're going to count, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. That's six different types of groups of people, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive. There is a cause and an effect. The false prophet, I think his job is to generate the cause. And what they're going to do is they're going to reap what it is that has been sown. They're going to get what it is that they deserve. They're going to have the effect of the cause and effect. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, so that no man might buy or sell, save he had the mark of the beast, or the number of his name. And here's wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and that number is 666. I know I paraphrased that a little bit, but I want you to get that idea that there is a cause, and the effect of that falls upon 6 groups of people, and they're all going to receive a mark, and it's associated with the number 666. Now, I want you to keep that in mind as we go through what amounted to just some news items that came across to me this week that people like you have sent me. And I just seen a lot of things coming all at once, and I'm going, I think I see something a little bit more clearly now. And I want us to examine just some of the weekly news that have happened in light of the Scriptures so that we see the cause and the effect of it. And I'm telling you, there's going to be a mark. And I don't see anybody that's going to be fighting against it. I see people fighting against it now, and I think you should. But I think when it comes that time, those who are going to get the mark are going to gladly, I want that. I want that. That's what I want. And I want you to think about that. Let's look at some stories here. Gay couples and gay marriage are the Democratic Party. Many longtime voters support the Democratic Party because of family ties, union affiliation, and the belief that their party made America a better nation. The elderly have found fond memories of how FDR supposedly saved the nation from the Great Depression. Blacks contend that it was the Democrats that gave them equal rights. In reality, it was the Republicans who supported the Civil Rights Act of 1964. With a great percentage over Democrats, union members believe the Democrat Party is America's party, when in reality unions have nearly bankrupted companies and sent them packing. These same Democrat voters are also socially conservative. They are generally against abortion and homosexual marriage, and they still vote Democrat. Ronald Reagan was able to get a lot of Democrats to vote for him in 1980 and 84 because voters were beginning to see the light. Jimmy Carter, I want you to remember that we brought him up. Jimmy Carter had been a huge disappointment to the conservative element in the Democrat Party. A lot of Democrats saw that their once beloved party had been co-opted by radical elements and they wanted out. The radicalism is beginning to fester. Publicly, President Obama has stated that he is not in favor of homosexual marriage. That is beginning to change. First, he is opposing a proposed constitutional ban on same-sex marriage in North Carolina. Now, I'm going to stop right here. So, in other words, the gist of this commentary is that everybody, all these people voting Democrat, most of them are probably what we would call blue dog Democrats. In other words, conservative Democrats. They're for some principles of the Democratic Party, but they're against abortion, they're against homosexuality, and especially homosexual marriage. So Barack Obama, it says he's against, he goes to Rick Warren's church when he's running for president. I'm against homosexual marriage. Not so fast. First of all, he's against the amendment in North Carolina. Now let's look at what the article says, and you'll see that the people that are surrounding Barack Obama, and let me just out of fairness say this, George Bush from 2000 to 2008 also surrounded by radical homosexuals in the Republican Party. See, there's liberal Republicans and liberal Democrats. So look at this. The second tip-off that the President Obama is going after the homosexual vote is the number of visible, hand-holding homosexual couples who attend the state dinner honoring British Prime Minister David Cameron. Tim Graham of Newsbusters reports, quote, the gay magazine The Advocate was delighted to list 15 prominent gays, including Obama bundlers and several journalists. Here's the list for you to ponder if you're still a Democrat and you want to know who someone is. We have Andrew Sullivan, a columnist for Newsweek. Sally Sussman, executive Vice President of Policy, External Affairs, and Communications at Pfizer. That's a pharmaceutical company. Chad Griffin, incoming president of the Human Rights Campaign. Randy Weingarten, president of the American Federation of Teachers. Stop right here. The president of the American Federation of Teachers, school teachers, teaching little kids, is a homosexual. Okay? Don't think for a second that he doesn't have an agenda. Don't think for 1 second that he does not have an agenda. He does. That's why he's in that position. Let's see here. John Barry, Director of the Office of Personnel Management, government politician. Bradley Kiley, Director of the Office of Management and Administration. Jonathan Capehart, columnist for the Washington Post. Wally Brewster, Chicago real estate executive and major fundraiser for the Obama campaign. Barry Karras, former HRC board member and an Obama campaign major fundraiser. Tim Gill, founder of the Gill Foundation. Hillary Rosen, partner in the political communications firm SKD Knickerbocker. And the list goes on and on and on. So, I want you to get this. Follow me on this, okay? The homosexual element in America has gone from being in the closet underground. I mean, way, 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 way down. You would have to know somebody for a long time, and you'd have to really, 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 really know them well to ever know that maybe your next door neighbor or your uncle or somebody in politics or somebody in business was a closet homosexual. Not anymore. As more Americans come out of the basement, come out of the closet, they're now being open with homosexuality, hand-holding. And now we have it thrust in our face that there are high-ranking government officials, high-ranking businessmen, high-ranking people in places that should have never been, that are part of this homosexual element. So we have taken what God said, along with other things, I'm going to be fair, along with other things such as shacking up, fornication without marriage, and other things, we have taken the base elements of our society, and yes, they've always been around, but we've taken the base elements of our society and we have exalted them to the highest places. So now, they show up at a White House dinner, holding hands, probably making out in the lobby. I mean, who knows what's going on? But now they're in the forefront. Hollywood actors and actresses, now they're just no bones about it. Yes, I'm gay. Yes, I'm gay. Yes, I'm homosexual. And it's cool now. It's cool to be gay. It's cool to be a lesbian. It's like uncool if you're somebody like me. I've been married to a woman almost 25 years and don't really plan on dating a guy anytime soon, or ever for that matter. Let's go to the scriptures. I'm going to show you what happens. I'm going to show you that there's always cause and effect. There's always cause and effect. When you take a bowling ball and you roll it down the bowling alley, that bowling ball, unless you bowl like me, that bowling ball is going to have an effect down the road. You see what I'm getting at? Pins are going to unless you're me, okay? So that's cause and effect. And so now the ball is rolling down the alley of America. Let's look at the effect. Let's go to the Bible. 1 Kings chapter 14. Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, reigned in Judah. Rehoboam was 41 years when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem. And the city which the Lord did choose out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there, and his mother's name was Naamah, an Ammonitess. And Judah did evil in the sight of the Lord, and they provoked him to jealousy with their sins, which they had committed, above all that their fathers had done. Now, stop right here, just out of fairness. I said this earlier. There have always been people who have fornicated. There's always been people who have had lustful thoughts. There's always been people that were sodomites. Always. But every now and then, we get a generation. Well, they just have it in their mind that they're going to outdo every other generation that's ever lived. That was the time in Rehoboam's day. That's the time that we're in right now. There will come a day, the Bible says, such has never been on the earth. So let's follow it up. Verse 23. They also built them high places, images, and groves on every hill and under every green tree. Stop right there. Okay? Because at one time, America was founded on the Bible, was centered on the Bible. The people just believed the Bible. Bible Christianity was the religion. Even though it was state-sanctioned and state-recognized, Bible Christianity was the religion of America. But we have forsaken that, and now we are tree worshipers and ecologists, and we worship pagan gods, and we are bringing in New Age and Hindu practices into our church services. Building up idols, people, is what we're doing. Cause and effect. The bowling ball's going down the lane. There's going to be an effect. Now look at verse 24. And there were also sodomites in the land, and they did according to all the abominations of the nations which the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. In other words, there were sodomites in the land, and they were doing just like